What do sex addicts say? Or really, what are some crazy things sex addicts say? Now, I've been listening to sex addicts over 30 years. I love sex addicts. I want them to get better, and I see their marriages restored. I see them, go through the process. But sometimes in the beginning, it's like sitting in a bar. The craziest things are said, okay? Number one, everyone does it. There's no research that supports everyone is masturbating and doing porn, that it's fantasizing about every man or woman that walks by, is scanning people and making them sex objects. Not everyone's doing that. Not everyone's intriguing to find out if someone wants to be a player. Not everyone's doing that. Some people are actually living in the real world with real relationships and seeing people as people. So that's a crazy thing. If my spouse would, and then fill in the blank, have more sex, okay? Now, you gotta understand, when you're a sex addict, the kind of sex you provide is empty. You're having physical sex, your spouse wants emotional, spiritual connection during sex. You're not mature enough because of sex addiction, so all they're getting is a sex act. They feel empty and alone, and you're giving them negative reinforcement. And so your negative reinforcement because of your sexual maturity it actually de-incentivizes and creates a situation where the other person really isn't that excited about sex with you because it's not really for them. It's all about you. And you're in some kind of fantasy world and disconnected. So that's a crazy thing that sex addicts say about. If my spouse would only, and then fill in the blank here, but here's the issue. You were sexually addicted before you ever met your spouse. I've done thousands of sexual assessments on sex addicts, men and women. And in the 98% realm, you were sexually addicted, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, really, before you ever laid eyes on your spouse. Your spouse has nothing to do with your sex addiction. Now, your immaturity in the relationship may be a factor as to why you're not happy in your marriage, but that's on you, okay? Your spouse did not cause your sexual addiction. Crazy things that addicts say is, I can do this by myself. I have worked with the best and the brightest in the world. Billionaires, millionaires, athletes, politicians, doctors, lawyers, the brightest people on the planet have sat in my office, and they couldn't do it by themselves. I got 4 degrees. I couldn't do it by myself, okay? You need a team to get better. You're gonna need support groups, maybe a therapist, someone who knows what they're doing. So if you think that you're gonna get better all by yourself, that's a crazy thing that addicts say. So there's probably 100 more of these, but those are my top crazy things that sex addicts say. But here, I want you to understand, I love seeing sex addicts get better. They grow up, they mature, they become great spouses, they become leaders in their communities, their money multiplies, they become great parents. There's no need to stay a sex addict. If you are one, take the next step. Call our office, 719-278-3708. Go on to sexaddict.com and find some resources for yourself. Maybe come visit us for a few days here in Colorado Springs. We'd love to see you get better and get your marriage better if you're married. You deserve freedom. Now, if you're actively in your sex addiction, you're going to sound like a drunk at a bar. So be gentle with yourself and just take the next step on learning how you can get well.